dash ones. So I wanted you to have some time to review before we get started. But when she gave you lots of videos, and there's some are really good. But because I started with you guys on the hamburger method of how to do paragraphs, I wanted you to keep that visual in mind for how to take a paragraph and turn it into a whole essay, right? So take your intro paragraph and turn it into an essay. I also did like the idea of building the body paragraphs. If you feel like that's a better way to do it, then I'm okay with that. This one's a short video, just 3 minutes. And if you don't feel like it gave you enough information, then I can show you another one that's shorter, but it kind of just breaks it down more visually. But I don't want to take up too much time because I want you guys to have the rest of the lab to just review those notes.
Hello everyone. Today I will briefly talk about the general structure an essay should follow. It's easy and quick in a format that's well liked by professors and teachers. Hopefully by the end you'll see writing an essay is not a daunting task if you know how to structure it properly. I just want to point out that you could be a great speller or use intelligent vocabulary, but without a properly structured essay, your paper is going to be at risk of being a huge flop and anything but excellent. For a general structure of an essay, we will use a hamburger to help us format a clear paper. You might recall learning this analogy at some point in school, but it may have seemed rushed and you probably had more questions than answers after seeing it. So imagine your essay is a hamburger. You have two buns that hold the various toppings, condiments, and your patty in place. Have you ever had a burger without your favorite topping? Or it was dressed differently and it just didn't feel like it was the same? That's exactly how an essay works. Without planning and adding in certain ideas, the essay may not sound right because it's left out important parts. So the two buns are your introduction and conclusion. You cannot have one without the other. Notice how these buns look similar but a little different at the same time. Make sure to reflect this in your paper so that you're not just conveniently repeating your introduction in your conclusion, but you're summarizing it nicely with the various toppings you've touched upon throughout your essay. The toppings like cheese, onions, lettuce, pickles, tomatoes are all the different arguments and points you want to make in your essay. Each one of them is unique and has its own flavor, which adds to how delicious it is. So to relate this to your essay, make sure that each point you use isn't repeated. It's not enough to just word one argument several different ways. The more creative you are with your arguments or the more unique points you bring up, the more appetizing your essay will be. The patty is the main topic of your paper. A burger is not a burger without having some meat in every bite, so use the patty as a reminder to stay on topic. The condiments like ketchup, mustard, and mayo are your thesis. A burger with no condiments tastes very dry and there is no point of eating it that way. Same goes for your paper. Your essay must have a thesis, otherwise, depending on who marks it, they might not even consider it to be a paper at all, and it won't feel fresh, regardless of how many toppings you put in it. The thesis, much like condiments, are the glue of your paper, so make sure that every point in your paper comes in contact or relates to your thesis somehow. You may have heard of topic sentences being in the essay burger before, but I'll give you a tip. Don't worry about them. Topic sentences are obvious because when you bring up a new idea or argument, you'll start a new paragraph way. The first sentence of the new paragraph should nicely connect to the previous idea you wrote about. It's just my personal opinion that topic sentences make an essay sound too choppy, so instead just focus on the flow of your essay. I hope you like my version of the essay burger analogy. For more essay tips, subscribe to my channel and keep up to date to make sure you're on your way towards writing a sweet essay.
How to Write a Great Essay by Brianna. So you have this hamburger called the literacy. If you would see it, you would see a top bun and you would put your thesis in it. And your thesis is technically your intro. And then you would go down and then there would be a detail box. And then you would explain just a few details about what you were talking about. But then you would have to go down again, and then you would technically flip your thesis statement, which is your intro, but instead you would put in conclusion. And I'm finished.
So I like that one. I thought it was cute, but it basically paraphrase exactly how you take that burger idea for your paragraphs, and then you make it one huge burger. So I guess it's like, I don't know if it's something crazy like you got to eat here. There's like 5 different burgers making up one big burger. But anyways, does that visual help a little bit of some of the stuff that you were getting from the PowerPoints yesterday? Just because I know that
with
we
less
talk
bread,
about burger.
Swaki.
Sorry,
With less bread, a
less
thinner
bread. Yeah.
bread.
And again, it's like that one lady said, it depends on who's marking you. Depends on what the topic is, right? If you're trying to convince somebody of something, it's going to come out a certain way. If you're trying to prove a fact or something, it's going to come out a different way. If you're trying to like if it's like a speech paragraph, or you know what I mean, like it's depending on what your point is, your burger is going to be structured a different way, right? So maybe it's going to be a bannock burger, maybe it's going to be a breakfast wrap or something, right? You know what I mean? And I like the way she talked about how the top bun and the bottom bun are the same bun, the same ingredients, but they don't have the exact same shape, right? Your top bun. Have you ever had it where your parents made you a hamburger by accident? You got 2 bottom buns or 2 top buns because they're making a bunch of burgers. I remember being so annoyed if I got 2 bottom buns by accident. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I like that she brought that up, because it's kind of like, even though they're the same ingredients, the top and bottom bun, they have their own shape. So you're not exactly rewriting word for word what you had in your top bun in your introduction, in your conclusion. They might have the same ingredients, but they have a different shape, right? One's introducing a topic, one's kind of saying, okay, I've convinced you of what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm just going to re-point out my points, and then I'm concluded now. I'm done. I've made my point. So I guess the top button is all prettier, I guess, because you're trying to get someone interested in what you're going to explain to them. And the bottom button's a little uglier. I always thought it was a little uglier. It doesn't have the sesame seeds, doesn't have the roundness, it's not as round as a nice top, but it's still kind of final, right? It's what holds your bun together. If you don't have it there, you don't have a full hamburger. And it may not be as attractive as the top one, but it is more smug, right? It's like, I proved my point. Look at how awesome all my ingredients are. I put all my ingredients in this hamburger. I'm not missing cheese. I'm not missing vegetables. I'm not missing condiments. My beef is very nice, triple A beef, sirloin. I made a really good argument. My thesis is, it is powerful. I said, I'm going to convince you with these points. And this is what I'm going to convince you of. And every single ingredient in my burger points to my thesis, right? And then my bun just kind of smug and arrogant and says, haha, I did it. So now I've proved my point. Now you can eat me. And like I said, I'm really visual. So when I see those visuals, it helps me when I'm trying to write my papers. I have a harder time just thinking about, okay, thesis and conclusion and topic sentence number 1. For me, that gets me more stressed out. But when I think about it, it was okay. I've got different little paragraphs inside my essay. So one paragraph is all gonna be the lettuce and veggies, right? Pickles and tomatoes and onions. And it's gonna be all one topic that proves one of my points. My next section, my bun is gonna be maybe the cheese and meat, and that's gonna be another part of my argument. And then I'm gonna have all my condiments, and it all ties together to make one delicious sandwich. But each of those sections has their own individual aspects, right? Like Andrew was saying yesterday, every time you start a new paragraph, you're obviously starting a new idea. So each new paragraph, think of each section of your burger, the veggies, the condiments, the meat and cheese. Those are all your paragraphs. They are all bringing your argument together that you had in your bun, but they all are individual on their own too. They're all their own ingredients. Does that make sense? I mean, just practice pretty much just makes perfect. You just practice and practice, and you're gonna get practice time tomorrow. And then and you get to work with other people so they can contribute ideas, and so don't get stressed out or anything. But I'm gonna give you guys some time. I know we only have 30 minutes left. And yesterday was like a 2-hour class, but you guys have access on our topic on our Moodle page to our all the handouts she gave yesterday. So I put them on there yesterday. So we have, I'm just going to show you. Sorry, I've got someone snoring at me. I'm going to show you down to, all right, here you go. Essay lesson, PowerPoints, and assignments. If you go here and click on that, it has all the assignments and PowerPoints. So I'm going to leave you guys to study those, just review them so that we're prepared tomorrow morning when we come together, and you're going to be ready for all the topics or all the ideas for the essay assignment. The essay assignment's on here too if you wanted to look at it too, to get a heads up of what the assignment's going to be. Any questions?
No.
Awesome. So, okay, perfect. And I've done attendance, so we're all good. I'll be here if anyone needs some help.
That's about it.
Florence, I said, okay, I'm just going to try it. Even though they're still online, I'm going to try it after 20 years. It's really good. I think people are getting way more confident with this technology now that it's 2 years in, eh?
And I understand that too, because like I was telling one of my co-students, or however you would say it, my classmates, I did say that, you know, I was up till 3 a.m. with anxiety, trying to figure out how to do the PowerPoint, how to maneuver my way around this whole, you know, website, trying to figure it out. So it was stressful. So I understand the students that left and then they probably just regretted it after.
Yeah, they
Feel
did. I
bad
mean,
for
I
them.
had a comm class and we had 25 students. I had one student for the rest of the semester that stuck it out. So
Yeah,
25 students, we switched to online and only one finished the semester. And she was
yeah,
younger. She was younger and her mom was a teacher too. So I think that probably helped because her mom was doing the same thing. She was learning how to use Moodle and Zoom and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. So that probably helped with her. But yeah, it was really disheartening for us teachers. So we had to have a big meeting before school started. Okay, how are we going to make classes better for the students to make it feel like they're still in class? Because when we first
mhm,
started, they only had to show up for a Zoom meeting once a week. The rest was just go to Moodle and find your assignments and do your assignments on your own. So we decided, okay, this is what's going to happen. They're going to have the exact same class schedule they had when we were in person, but you're going to be in Zoom. So if you have a 2-hour class, you're on Zoom for 2 hours. Obviously, you're not going to stand there and stare for 2 hours. That's kind of cruel. But you know, your teacher's there for 2 hours, you're there for 2 hours. If you have questions, if you have issues, if you need help, you can go into a breakout room. Like you used to be able to go to your teacher's desk and ask her for, you know, I'm having trouble on this assignment, or raise your hand and say, hey, can you come over here and help me?
yeah,
We try to make it as much like what it was in the classroom as possible. And that seemed to make a big difference for the teachers and for the students. It was a little
yeah,
more motivating, you know, and we went back to doing that attendance award thing, you know, where, okay, if you come every day like you did it in person, you're going to get an incentive. We're going to give you something to motivate you to come all the time, right? And
yeah.
so I don't know, how do you guys feel about it changing? Now it's way stricter, but you get $50 a class instead of 30.
I'm a new student. I think that's amazing.
Oh, it is. Whenever I used to go, sorry, I've got a cold. If you're wondering why I sound like crap and I look, well, I guess I'm not letting you guys look at me, but
It reminds me of elementary. like getting rewarded for attendance sort of thing.
Yeah, and I felt that was weird. I did in my ed degree, we had to do that. My other degree, we didn't because it was seemed like elementary, it seemed very juvenile to be checked on your attendance. But when I went my ed degree, they said, no, you guys get marked on, not a marked, but you guys will get in trouble, maybe kicked out of the program if you're not coming regular, you're not coming on time. And we're like, really? Seriously? This is university. They're like, yeah, but as teachers, you're the only person in that classroom. You have to be there on time. You have to be there every day. If you don't get into the habit of, doing that, making that a responsibility, then you're not going to last in a job very long. And I mean, I've taught different places, and I know there's some teachers that have had issues where they're always late, or they don't get a sub, they don't tell our principal, I'm not going to be there today, or I'm running behind this or that. And when I did the ed degree, that kind of prepped you for that. I remember when I was doing my being a student teacher, where at the end of my classes, they sent you out to a school to be a student teacher for a few weeks or a couple months. And I remember I got a flat tire driving out because one of my practicums was out at Tatsekisapo, the middle school. And I got a flat tire driving out there. I didn't even realize that someone was honking behind me. And I was like, what the hell is this person honking? So I pulled over because I thought they pulled over behind me. They go, you got a flat tire. I'm like, what? This is right before I got to the turn off to Chief Thunder, or Thunder Chief, sorry. And I was like, okay. I had AMA, so luckily I had AMA and I was close enough to Lethbridge that it still towed me back. But I didn't have a cell phone, and this is like, I didn't have a cell phone yet. I was still a student. This was like a new thing for everyone to have a cell phone in 2004. And so I got to got my sister to pick me up. They towed my car. I called, they're like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late for my student teaching. I've got a flat tire. I don't know how to get out there. They're like, settle down. It's okay. Thank you for calling. I was like, oh, okay. But the university got me so stressed out about being late and not being present for your being a teacher. And they're like, no, it's okay. For one, you're a student teacher. We'll figure it out. But for two,
Yeah, I appreciate
sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate the support, because I look at that perfect attendance reward as that's my NMAX, or that's my direct energy, or that's my internet bill. And that,
yeah, and they went up crazy. Like I'm getting $800 bills a month because I
yeah.
rent my other house and I live with my husband in his place. And it's insane. There's so many people I know and they've got like full-time jobs. Like, I can't pay this bill. I can't pay this bill. And
Yeah.
I'm like, at least
And
25%.
just showing up every day with that incentive is really helping me grasp the concept of learning again.
Yeah, and that does help. When I tell my students too, like when we were in person, especially, I was like, you know what? The students that don't show up regularly, I guarantee they're going to struggle at the end of the semester just to pass this class, let alone do well in this class. If you come
Yeah.
regularly, even if you're struggling and you're having, like you're saying, I'm really struggling learning how to do this new technology and stuff, but you're there every day and you're accessing help, right? You're talking to your fellow students, right? And you're saying, hey, I'm having trouble with this. I'm having trouble with this. Oh, really? So am I. Let's work on this together. Just being present does so much to advance your learning. It does so much. I mean, and even as teachers, I went to a conference last week. You remember how we had like a whole big time off because we had all these teacher conventions and stuff. Your kids are probably at home too, because my kids were too, because of all the teacher conventions in the province. For the first time in 2 years, we got to go to Calgary and actually go into sessions in conference rooms and stuff. And it was insanely different to talk to other colleagues that we're not maybe even teaching at my school, at different schools in Calgary, different schools in Alberta, and talking about your experience as a teacher, talking about the epidemic and how your school is dealing with it. And just this is because I was sitting beside them at a banquet table. We just got into conversations. I exchange emails with a whole bunch of different people. And that I can't do when we have these online conferences where it's just like this. I'm like, I'm not going to be motivated just to go up to a random person in a chat. Hey, who are you? So just being in person is so much better for your communication and just I think your motivation and your I don't know, just your joy at whatever you're doing, whether it's being a teacher or it's being a student, just being able to talk to somebody else that's going through it with you in person, it helps so much. And so I really hope that by the time we get to the new campus, we at least have half our classes back on campus, because even though they're saying they're probably going to do 50-50. And I understand that we're going into it way slower because we're a private school and we have our elders to consider, and we have adults that they're more responsible to deal with, being online versus, being at home with, your child and whatnot, and you don't have the supervision. But I hope we're at least 50-50, because I really miss seeing my colleagues in the hallway at the photocopier and, running into students in the hall and having them come to my classroom and say, I need some help with this, and it does so much more for, I don't know what you call it. Just it kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like peps you up, right? Gets you going. Motivation, I guess, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think Red Crow is pretty supportive. I really appreciate them as an outsider. I really appreciate Red Crow because
Where are you from?
Begunny.
We're still Blackfoot, same confederacy.
Yeah, and
Marvin, yeah,
I
Marvin is a teacher. Marvin and Jeannie, they're from Begunny. Well, Jeannie's my cousin actually. She married into the Davises. I'm from the Davis family. She married into us like 30 years ago or something.
yeah.
So she was raised on the reserve, blood reserve. But yeah, she's from Begunny. And
Yeah, and I just like I wish we had something like this over there. Like I
I
mean,
know. I hope
this
you
is
guys get something
beautiful.
because
That new,
Sixagat's got a college out there.
yeah, then this
Browning
new,
does one too.
yeah.
So I
And I
think you guys
think
are far behind.
it's just like as an older person, I look forward to seeing my younger, like my son, utilizing, he's 23, utilizing this new beautiful building. I'll be utilizing it in the fall again.
Nice. Are
So
you
I'm
going?
pretty
Do you have an idea
excited.
of what you're going to do for post-secondary?
I do. I'm hoping to really try hard in your class. Your class is why I'm here. And in the fall, I've already done the footwork for the Indigenous Mental Health
Oh,
Diploma
good for
program.
you.
I found out there's 20 classes in that program that are directly related to the Bachelor of Social Work. So I'm going to take the next 4 years of my life to get those 2 papers.
Good for you. You'll appreciate it. My mom convinced me to go back and to become a teacher, and I didn't want to do
Mhm.
that at all ever. But it's been so rewarding. I mean, I even went back and got my master's on my own. No one convinced me to do it. I was like, you know what? I want to go to the next level of education because when you get the higher, like you go after your bachelor's, you go to like master's or PhD. It's so much more research. So the things that are interesting to you in your bachelor's degree, you can actually go into them in your master's and really research them. Like I really researched traditional Blackfoot, um, sorry, traditional Blackfoot music and how to take our traditional Blackfoot music and put it into the classroom, like the Alberta curriculum. Because when I got right out of university at Sixagat, I was teaching grades 7 to 12, and I was teaching music like choral, and I was trying to teach drumming because I got taught how to do drumming by Olivia Tailfeathers.
Mhm.
And I was trying to do that, but Sixagat was harder because Sixagat really frowns on women drumming. So I had to order drums that weren't like real animal skin, like synthetic, because I was able to teach with real animal skins at the middle school, and I didn't have any issues with parents or anybody. No one said anything. And then when I got to Sixagat, my principal and the Blackfoot teacher like, no, there's no way you can teach drumming to your choir girls. And I was like, why? And like I never heard about that. And so they explained it to me. Well, go. What if I order synthetic drums? Because quite frankly, I don't think we could afford to have a whole classroom about real drums. And they're like, yeah, if it's not an animal skin, that's fine. I go, okay, we'll order those. So that's why we got around it. And the girls loved it. We had drumming and we had a choir. We went around Alberta singing, and we got some of the like Kiwanis music fest. We got them to open up some new categories so that we could perform.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? There's probably so many Indigenous music teachers in Alberta or all everywhere that are trying to teach under Alberta curriculum, and there's nowhere in there for it to fall. The only place I could find it in the curriculum was world music. That's it. They didn't have Indigenous music or anything.
Wow.
So
That would make such a
that was my
big
research.
difference.
And I did Begunny. I researched in Sixagat. I researched in the Blood Reserve. I went down to Browning and Heartview and talked to music teachers down there about how they're doing music in the classroom and to get some ideas. And so it was an awesome experience getting a master's. It was good having the other extra letters after my name, but that research
Mhm.
was invaluable. Okay, I guess we
Wow.
blathered long enough. Does anybody have any last remarks? Does anybody not know how to get into that link again?
That PowerPoint that it says assignment, there's only eight slides on there. There's no assignment.
Oh, the assignment is let me see if I go to it. Sorry, my cough is really bad.
And I was wondering, like, what do we have to have in for reporting period?
Reporting period was last Friday, but I think you guys have a pretty
No,
good
it's this Friday.
they moved it to this Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome, because that
Yeah,
means my
it
grades are
says
due.
March 4th on the info portal.
I thought I had a March 25th because I was like, oh crap, that means my marks are due this week. I've been trying to mark everyone's paragraphs. So basically for us, the paragraphs, the PowerPoint, you know, where you're going to be in the future, like your
Mm-hmm.
goals. Oh, where is that? I thought I put all 6 of those assignments on here. Let me see. Why is it not on there? I've got all of my uploaded like six different files onto this assignment. Let me go into there as a teacher. I'll look on it and I'll find it. Just seems like it's only showing the one assignment, right? That one PowerPoint.
There's the PowerPoint and the paragraph. I think that's what we did.
Okay.
And on the link you mentioned or on the link that's on there, essay lessons, PowerPoints and assignments, there's only like she said, only 8 pages. There's no assignment.
Okay, I'm gonna look at that and I'll have it fixed for tomorrow. I uploaded it. Maybe I did, like, see, I still suck at Moodle. I was uploading forever. I think I had all 6 and I said, yes, save this and go back to the class. It saved the first PowerPoint. That's gonna be a pain for me to redo. Okay, I'm gonna go to basically
So,
the link tomorrow is, if you go to, can someone go to announcements? That's where I put it yesterday, announcements. Go to your announcements.
Yeah, I seen that on there.
Perfect. So that's where you go to get tomorrow. It's the same link. If you go there, that's how you get to class at 11. And yes, Tylene, you asked me something?
I'm gonna get going. I currently have
Yeah, no problem, no problem. You guys are done. I'm just trying to figure out why that didn't upload.
Okay, see ya.
See you. And you guys can all go. I'm just gonna try and fix this so you guys can see that.
Okay, thank
assignment
you.
review. You're welcome.
Okay,
See you
thanks.
tomorrow.
Have a good day.
You too.